And so it begins another stream. Here we go. Okay, everybody. Howdy do. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I guess we'll put Godot here. Howdy ho. I don't understand. Oh, okay. Now I understand. I see now. Gadoot. More like Godot, am I right? Right, guys? Right? Guys? Am I right? Am I right? All right, so we're looking at the player controller, and we're looking at mining. State is mining. Okay, let's see. Start. Connect. Lose the controller on the ground. Oh. Oh. We're inside a building. Okay. Chicken. Set action. That's from the packet. Okay. Probably not important that it carries over here, but maybe it is. I don't know. So let's go back. Refresh. Hit. State is A. We're not going to know what the action is for. Where to put this stuff? That's the question for all this. The patterns. That was an audible. That was an audible toot. Tom Millman. What is the dog doing? What is the dog doing? What's the dog say? What's a dog say? Mm-hmm. All right. Looking good. Animation node, state machine playback. Emitted when the state finishes playback. If the state is a state machine set to a group mode, its signals are passed through with its name prefixed. If there is a crossfade, this will be fired when the influence of get fading from node animation is no longer present. State started. Finished is what we care about. String name. What the dog doing? Calvin was outside for a bit. Now he's back inside. He's still downstairs. I haven't had him up here with me yet while I'm streaming. I'm just a little hesitant about it. I got to set something up for him to be able to lay down and tuggle. Got to find a good tuggling situation for him. Now we have set action, chop. It's all in the mind. Kick, punch. It's all in the mind. If you want to chop me, I'm sure you'll find. Chop, chop, kick, punch, chop, chop. Nut, punch, chop. Punch, nut, chop. All right, let's see if we get a break point when we go to mine something. Which right now it's called chop. Okay. Hitting that break point up. Bring him back on stream. I might get a camera set up, like on the bed or something. I guess what I need to do is just get him in here. I have to take this wall thing out behind me, this. And there's some problems with, he's just going to be walking in and out of this area, which means I have to have this up, which means then I have to have the bed made. And I don't want to do any of that right now. That's another part of it. But yeah, I should probably get that going. All right, Tom. You convinced me. Fine. Fine. Okay. It's Two Bob. How's everybody doing? I lost my mind on the stream this morning too. I know everyone's trying to get me on track or keep me on track. But I just started adding gameplay yesterday or my whatever the last stream was. And instantly it's like, "Hey, it's like I don't know. It was just it kind of cracked me up in hindsight. Um uh but it was like, hey, you're starting to you're wasting your I don't know, not wasting your time, but you're like you shouldn't be doing that. It's like, but I'm just starting to make the game. How could I possibly be wrong with anything I'm choosing to do right now? Anyways. Two Bob, I hope you're doing good. Animation states. So here's what we're going to do. So if it's a mine, expression and match pattern. Right, I'm trying to get a string. Do we do it the other way around? All right. And let's go to our tree. $73. Medusa. It says chop. Oh, do we have to re-import? Dude, we need a way of automating that if that's the case. Might have to have a script that just does re-importing. I can just fire off. Oh, I didn't save it before I saved it, if that makes sense. Still says chop. Once again. All right, it says mine. Says mine. Let's try it now. Chop. WTF might. So now we're trying to say chop. Okay. We're in the white wheelhouse now. We are in the white wheelhouse. Breakpoint. Okay, good. Thanks. Burned myself with too much chlorine in the hot tub again because I'm stupid. But it's all good, just itchy. It helps cleans the pores out, man. Bleaches the butthole. You're all bleached up. Oh, Cricket, what are you doing? Okay, so when we Uh, how about this? Okay, so if we can mine, we set state to mining. There's still some. Okay, so this should lower the spam of the action. Yeah, so it only fires once. Um, so that's good because that means on the server side we can fire hits. Um, so Okay. Hit value. Let's move the hit function to what happened? Vim just crapped out on me. What the fuck? Okay, this should move to... Oh, it did it again. What in the Sam hell's going on here? Is it because we're running? No, no. So, my concern right now is we have this world concept. And I almost think that when we load in a world, it needs to inform the game about these things. Because I need this to be in game code. I need this logic to be in game code. So let's just have the world be... I'm not sure yet, guys. Let's call it mine. And this needs to be over there instead. Let me save because we keep shit in the bed whenever I go to do this. We're going to yoink it. Yank that shit. In front of everybody? In front of everybody. Just yank it. Okay. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to pass mineable object to it. So this will probably say mine something from some player. Okay. And let's go ahead and get rid of this. Every time I try to delete this, it crashes. See, it just did it. What the fuck? That is so weird. Bro. Every time I do that last line. Weird. Okay. We're good. Now we have some okay. So we say mine the mineable thing from the player. So that's the player doing the mining action. And now we can talk to the mineable so like mineable HP minus value. For now we're just going to do 1. Okay. Mineable not declared in current scope. Is it mine? So that's like a made up word. Mineable? Right? That's not like a real word, is it? Mineable. Mineable. It is a real word. Well, I'll be damned. Mineable. Minable? Is it minable? How do you actually pronounce this word?
Mineable.
It's mineable. It looks like minable. Variance or mineable. Okay. Just seemed like one of those made up words, you know? You ever have that happen? You're like, that you start typing they and you're like, that doesn't look like a word. That's not real. That's a made up word. Player shadowing from player. How about that? It's never used, but it will be. Oh, yes. It will be. Okay. I'm really trying to think this through. If we can get these patterns right, then I can just start popping shit out. This is what we're trying to get to, is that explosion that I had with the inner tube game. If anybody was here for that, that was wild stuff, guys. And I did a lot of that game. It was a 30-day jam, and it really, it wasn't like I was just building tools the entire time, but I was building everything I needed to be able to build the game, I guess you could say. And I literally had it all finished the day before. And on the final day, I was just making the rest of the game, and it was just like coming together. It was crazy stuff, but it's a little different here. But it was all about getting the table set like the right way. Yeah, this is skill, regardless of what that skill is, and properly done can be templated. Yeah. It's the hard part, like, I'm liberated from I was watching the talk from Domekeeper, and he was talking all kinds of things about, like, oh, you got to do RPC calls for this and RPC calls for that, and I understand why, because they had an existing single player game that they slapped multiplayer into. And so I understand why they probably had to see the problem that way. But with this, starting with the inputs, server authoritative, client sending inputs, rollbacks, I'm suddenly free from so much stuff, but it creates this like weird I there's three okay, here's a way I can explain it. There's three ways that something can happen. The server is simulating it, the client is simulating its player thing, right? Or we're telling the rest of the clients the state of the server tick, and we have to kind of reconstruct things, right? So instead of like RPC wilding, we're not wilding RPC. We're just like, okay, how do we make sure that everything kind of works in the server tick, the way the client does it, and then the way the server emulates the server simulates everything in the first place. And so I have to make sure everything's kind of set up in a good way for that. I don't quite know the pattern for it just yet. It's gonna make itself clear as I do this and I start to get into debt with code and I go, fuck, like this is wrong. And then I have to think about refactoring. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't quite know what it is just yet. It will come to me as I'm trying to solve these problems, but I don't quite know. And I know the game I'm trying to make, so I don't quite know where it is just yet, but I'm working towards it. And I know that, for instance, when I would do solo games, I usually ended up with a monolithic game class. Redstone, exactly. Let me catch up on chat. I'm at the stage for my game right now for the relics that will influence gameplay, where I need to start setting everything up to be implementable. Yeah. Is this about the network information that has to be reliable parallel with unreliable input stuff? It's more just about the idea of like what a server tick is and what it isn't. What the client is needs to be the same thing the client is to the server. At the same time, however, I can sneak server actions in my player controller code so that I don't have to constantly somewhere else say, well, okay, if this is happening, like I can do it more in the logic of where it would be happening if I was programming this as a single player game. Right, the projects share the same code base. Yeah, exactly. So like the server, the player controller receives inputs. It doesn't know where it got it from. The player controller receives those inputs if the local client is pressing them. It does the exact same thing if the server is sending those inputs. And so there's just kind of some things that have to be thought about when you're doing that. But then it all goes away when you send it out as a server tick, and that client is simply getting, oh, this player is now here, and their state is now this, and it's like, okay, now we have to kind of fudge reality a little bit for that client, for the client to be like, yeah, this is happening. They're mining right now, even though we really don't send it as player inputs. We send it as the server simulation state. So it's just it's kind of like I have to just kind of I'm ending up having to separate things that I wouldn't have normally separated. You know, there's a bit more separation happening where I would never have done it that way. But it's like if I separate this here, I can give state to both the client and from a server tick and kind of get the same result. So there's like a lot of like kind of weird little things about it. It's interesting it's interesting, but I am starting to get a flow on this, which is good. Boats, how's it going? Okay, so now we can tell game what area we're hitting. So let's give this a shot. So we say game. So it's main game. See, this is I don't know, boys. I don't know yet. Because we have this in world. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Don't know. Mine. And then we just send self over. Okay. So that tells us who is mining it. We say it, we bring it over there. So this should just work, but it's not going to, the state of the mine is only going to be reflected on the server side right now. So let's see. So if we go over here and mine, it should, yeah, it clears out. And then we see that it doesn't go to the client. And that's because we have that Boolean. So now we have to figure out, okay, how do we reconstruct this on a server tick? So pretty good. Just finished a jam, so I'm pooped. Were you doing the Honest Damn Jam? Ooh, I don't know. Nathir, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing good. Boats, I hope everything's going fine and dandy in your world. Medusa as well. Everybody who's here, I hope your lives are well. We could do for a lot more good lives, couldn't we? I think we all can agree. Things could be better. You know, we don't have to sabotage the entire wealth of a nation just so that a few people keep their jobs. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. All right, anyways. Life's going good for me right now. That's good. Not gonna lie, I'm okay with that. Oh, man. Anyways, back to work. Wonder how many more times are we gonna... Okay, so now this is interesting, guys. This video, I'm gonna throw it in the chat. This is a video from the guy who ended up making Megabonk. Okay? So you guys can watch that whenever. And he took 3 days, he took 3 months to make his prototype that he shows in here, which is roughly what Megabonk ends up looking like. The video itself got 1.1 million views over 9 months when it was released. Megabonk now selling at a total of how many reviews? Overwhelmingly positive. English. How do I just see the true number of the reviews? Somewhere in the vicinity of 40,000 reviews at 95% over. It's overwhelmingly positive. back to it. So I think what we should do with world is I think the game should load world in. That's what's going to happen, right? So let's get that going. Func load world value world void, go back to world. And I think the majority of this stuff is going to be this might end up on server. I don't know. This is so weird, some of this now. Because both the server and the client kind of have to have this information. So this is another thing that's a little weird to kind of wrap my head around. Okay, so if we load world here, can we have world in game? We could. So let's do that. Like that. And then we say value world, we say world equals value. Easy enough. Now we can refer to it as world. So world mining get children. That just works. It just works every time. And then world mining. Okay. So we can do our check there. This assertion though, I feel like this should be in the tool part of it. So maybe we don't need the assertion. I don't know. Yeah, we should do this assertion. It needs to be when we're editing a world, when we're like adding elements and stuff, we do some sort of assertion thing. So we'll keep this here for now, but this is probably going to go somewhere else. Okay, so now let's look up world in our code here and just see where else we're talking to world. Well, you know what else I need to do? I need to learn how to grep project-wide file stuff inside of LazyVim because I just don't do that. Why am I having a stroke? Oh, I'm trying to use. I want to use. I want to use my keyboard, my Vim motions to get over to the different desktops, and I can't do that. All right, so how do we search the entire? There's search replace world. That's not bad. That's fast and easy. Okay. Space SG. Thank you very much. Oh. Space S. Oh, grep. That works. World. In a world. Ooh, the only problem is can I say like star? How do I specify star.gd? Can I specify file type in the grep? For now, search and replace seems good. It must be using LSP because there's definitely the word world would likely show up elsewhere in like the scene files and stuff. So it must be using LSP. And this grep is a little annoying because after you select a file, if you come back, you have to type it again. Oh, you can't press like up key. Files filter right here is .gd. So somehow it knew to do this already. Interesting. Okay. Huh. There must be some sort of hint that it uses for the file type that we're in to do a search on. I don't know. How'd I get there? So I did space S and then search and replaces R. Space SR. Yeah. In a world. So we cache and instantiate right now here. So what we want to do is we want to say load world instead. So if we go, can I get here somehow? I don't think I can get to the, so this is only useful to see things, but I can't use it to, so grep, is there anything to help me on how to grep something? Let's see, lazy vim, search files, leader, fuzzy file finder, leader space. Isn't space the leader? So is it just space? Well, yeah, that's to search. But this isn't going to give me... Okay, that's not the kind of search we want. Live grep leader / Let's try that. That's here. That's our file. Within the current file, dynamically showing leader / that's okay. Current files / Can I do this from the Project Explorer? Can I do search here somehow? Fuzzy finder. Miker, yes, I did. We got it going, and now we're actually making a game. It's not 100% perfect, but it's working. We're sending inputs to the server. The server's, I can show you here in just a second. We're just kind of looking at some, I'm in the middle of breaking a bunch of stuff. So right now we're doing world. We don't need to do this first. We don't need to add child. We have a reference to world here. We don't even need that. What we want to do is instantiate this mf'er. Once we have game, then we say, we add it so that fires off ready and everything. Is that how we want to do it? We can fire the function before ready because we can say load world. game load world. Like that. Okay. Everything, it might be hosed right now. I might have broken it. Yep. Funk on Ready 16. Is this on, this is game 16. 16 GG. World. We set up the camera stuff. So we can move this into when we load world. Main world, phantom camera follow. So we don't even need this. Ready happens after, so we can just say world. Okay, let's try her again. Okay. We're kind of getting somewhere. But we don't know the player to follow yet. Or do we? Let's look at the scene tree. Go over here. Main game players. Oh, you know what we need to do? We have to add the world to the scene. Hey, you. I am. It's not even happening yet. All right, what's that? You going to bed, sweetie?
Yeah.
Your nails look beautiful.
This morning I snuck in and took the switch and you didn't even notice me.
I noticed you. Thank you for being so. Thank you for being so sneaky. Not interrupting everything. I appreciate it. They look beautiful.
The other side looks weird.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect. It's hard, especially your left hand.
Yes.
So
Yeah. I'm doing
doing your right hand with your left hand.
I just told Mama I want baby chickens, and she was like, "You're gonna have to discuss that with Calvin."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, Mr. Pig, because he's much faster than Calvin to me, or just a little bit."
Yeah.
Like if we had them run around our whole yard, Mr. Pig would probably end up around first, like seconds before Calvin.
I love you, sweetheart. Have a good night. Sleep good. All right. Sorry about that. Internet says use telescope to live grab. Yeah, Mike. Is it Micre? Micre? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to troll with the name. I want to make sure I say it right. Mike R. All right. I had the note on your I had the note on you, but now now I can't see my notes on my folks. Cuz I had this note on you already. But just Mike like Hypno does. All right, cool. So yeah, Mike, yeah, let me show you right now. So we got a server connection going on here. So the bottom screen here is a client, the top here is the server, and the server is a client as well, as we know. And so you can see we're animating as well, but we're not actually sending the animations over. What we're doing is, well, on the bottom, we're getting SimTicks from the server, and we're able to take the different clients' positions and extrapolate, okay, if they move from here to here in this server tick, they must have been moving at this speed, and therefore their animation needs to look like this. And so we send that data over into our animation tree. A client, yes. And when you're playing single player, in a single player game, you still are the server client. That's still happening. So you're always there's always technically a network layer there. And we're sending a buffer of the last 20 inputs constantly. It's about 48 bytes. So we're constantly sending the last 20 inputs over in a stream. We're not doing anything too smart with that. It's just a blast of it. And there is a network compression already. So if like right now I'm not moving, so it's all 0 packets. So that'd be even smaller technically over the, it's all compressed. But we're not doing anything any smarter than that. So long as we get one of those last 20 inputs, we have a ring buffer that we're going around in. So long as we get one of those last 20 inputs on the server side, we can constantly recreate the client's inputs reliably. We got rid of our Godot physics because it's you can see there's a little bit of jitter, so our rollback's firing way more than we should be. And I think that's because something about I think I'm cutting off the tail end of I'm reconstructing the buffer on the server side for the inputs, and I think I'm chopping the tail off. Right now it's just me. So I'm just determining movement and stuff, but there is somebody had recommended a deterministic physics engine that is written in Rust that has a plugin for Godot. So I may use that. Yeah. So right now we're just doing our own lerping of movement ourselves. And maybe the improvements in 4.6 might help. Yeah, I mean, if they're moving towards determinism in the physics, that would be great, because I could just go back to that. Yeah, and so the server is still the authority for almost everything that needs to be. And right now, so most of what I'm working on now is, the hard part is, what I really need is 3 clients. This is the crazy thing about this I never really thought about. You have to have at least one like you've got to have 2 clients connected to one server as a client, so that you can see the entire what's the from beginning to end, the network packet going to the server simulating state and coming round trip. So the RTT, the round trip time, you really need 2 clients connected that you can see to get an idea of what that's actually looking like and how it's all kind of playing out. Round trip lifetime, yeah. And there's just a lot, there's like a lot of little weird things about it. But the other thing that I'm sending across, so I can show you here, is on the client. I'll show you on the client. So let me get the server moved up to this block here. If I mine this block, the animation's coming across, but we're not sending an animation. We're just sending, we have a 256, we have a, one byte that we send across for each client, for each client state, to say this is what's their state is. And then we can extrapolate we can make some presumptions when we reconstruct that on the client side to show what's going on. We can say, oh, okay, here's like, oh, the state is mining. So then we'll play the mine animation then. And eventually we might be able to say the state was last updated at this point in time from when the server tick was sent. So we can then kind of scrub forward if we're like playing an animation or something like that. or we can set the animation speed to be a little bit faster to kind of end at when it would end. Yeah, so bit shifting, yeah. Yeah, so let me show you what we got going on here. It's we're getting there. We're getting there. So on the player input packets. So I have this thing called Byte Packer. I can show that in a second here. So for player inputs, we're using an enumerator here. And this is just an easy way to show the number value in when you're doing bit masking with stuff in Godot. So this makes it easy to grep what these enumerations line up to in a bit mask. See, I have been watching. Yeah. And then just recently, just today, this morning, we Byte Packer. So here, this lets us send we can pack a Boolean array. So we can create we can encode it into a U8, a U16, a U32. And so what it does is it checks the size of the array to make sure it matches 8, 16, 32 accordingly. And then it takes the bool values and it turns it into it masks it basically, and then we can send that over the line. So that's what we're going to be using for the mines, the state of the mines. So that's what I'm working on right now. Going through radiation therapy at present, so I'm not able to be there every stream in case the head isn't. And in some cases the head isn't listening. Oh man, I feel that. Hopefully it doesn't get you too sick. Yeah, same. I reiterate what It's Too Bad was talking about for sure. My mom had she was doing at first she was doing a non-radiation therapy, and then they had to switch her over to oral chemo. I finished on Christmas Eve. That's 16 weeks of chemo followed by 5 weeks of radio. Wow. Well, I wish for the best. Cancer fucking sucks. Oh God. All right. You're in my heart. I'll say that. All right. Well, back to it. So yeah, so we are yeah, so now we can encode and decode an array. And we can, the other cool thing about bit masking things is we can test for things really quick in a way that we can't normally. And so if we're sending things this way, and then we need to check, does something change in order to, like, if something got mined, for instance, and the server tick says, hey, this thing is the bool value for a mine is now false. It can we can check that really quick without having to iterate. And then if the answer is yes, we can say, okay, for that mine, because now we can get the index super fast again without really a comparison, because it's all on the byte level, or on the bits. We can then say, okay, trigger an animation to play that the mine did, exploded or something like that. And so the reconstructing of the world state to something that the player sees that makes them know that, hey, things are changing and it's all sort of lining up. So it's cool. It's really cool. It's just kind of like, what I really like about collecting inputs and then sending out ticks is it completely shifts you. I don't have to think about like millions of RPC calls and RPC functions and stuff like that. And I go back to making the game again in a way where you can, with RPC calls, end up in, like, you still have to separate a lot more than if you're making just a single player game. Like, you got to separate concerns like way more still, but it's more rational development than what you end up with when you focus on doing everything with RPC. And so far, that's what I'm experiencing. We'll see. We haven't had to worry about any guarantees yet, so I may change my tune when I have to guarantee certain things get sent. But because the world tick is so fast and it's going to get through at some point, so long as we're not hitting QoS and I set things up the right way, I don't know how often I really need to guarantee anything. But we'll see. Maybe it's gonna come into play. But I will say that guys like you, Hypno, and others have been good, giving me a distraction. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, so on that beat, so that's what we're doing right now. I'm kind of moving where the world is, and I'm trying to get over things. Like I was talking about this a little bit ago, where what I started gravitating to as I was making single player games is this monolithic game object or class or whatever you want to call it. And so I preferred doing things monolithically when I would do solo single player stuff. But as I'm doing networking stuff, it is becoming like, oh, I kind of need the idea of what this packet is on its own. I need the idea of what multiplayer is over here. I need network, like the network connection stuff separated, because you have to do it in a way where, okay, if it's going to go on Steam, it looks like this. If I'm going to test it across the net with a friend who like, it's weird. You still end up kind of separating out way more than I would prefer. But anyways. Yeah, componentized. Model view controller. I haven't really plotted out visually what this all looks like from like a what do you call them, the UDM graph or whatever. So I haven't really even quite visualized it yet. I mean, I guess technically you could look at the server tick relationship with each client as that's the model, and then we update the view. I mean, literally, we're sending inputs over, so we're just kind of reconstructing what those would do. But for example, the stat system component, as these would be used on all NPCs as well as players. Right. Yeah. For instance, I've created something that I have called set action. So, and it might change, the name action might change, but basically this is eventually just going to be this 256 possible values thing, and maybe even bigger, where it's like, okay, we can set on server state, we have the last action, the last set action of something, and then when on the tick, whenever we send a tick out, we reset the last set action of everybody for our simulation that we're sending out. And then we can when we get the server tick, we can set action. And that kind of will reconstruct the animations and everything like that. And if we're doing it live, where it's coming from the server client, we still call set action, but it happens somewhere else. So that's more immediate and not, it's as it's happening. But like conceptually, you have to kind of, but anyway, so that idea of set action can go on anything, and probably will. So I think eventually we're going to kind of move where that is, but I think that's one of those ones that will be sort of evergreen for all like all sort of specific kinds of objects that I would say for objects that can do things, I guess you could say, but not for innate or not for static, not for like like a rock. Like if you're mining something, it's not. Anyways, might have a look at the network layers used in Unreal Engine. Okay. I read a bunch of papers. I read the Valve. There's a good Valve one. There's one that's a self-published thing from somebody that's probably one of the better ones for really visualizing everything. He even has a JavaScript simulation of different solutions for networking to smooth things out and all that stuff. And so I've borrowed a lot from just seeing that. It was really helpful. And lots of GDC talks I've watched. You asked if I had a did I have an like am I writing things down or whatever? I think I guess in the sense I am in that I'm writing code now and I'm formalizing things, but I definitely am starting to develop opinions about it, about like networking, netcode stuff, but I haven't really formalized any of it yet. But yeah, I have been taking kind of notes. Yeah, I've been doing that for sure. But as far as like, here's my philosophy, I don't have anything like that. But anyways, I am shocked about how much I can get out of only updating the simulation because I'm only doing it every quarter of a second to the clients. And if you're just, you're smoothing things out and stuff, it's fine. For the game I'm making, it's absolutely fine. I've been playing with the idea of a gas system for Godot. Gameplay ability system. Interesting. MOBAs and RPGs use something like this. I might actually need something like that actually because we're gonna have like skill trees and things like that. So back to what we were doing. So we load the world in. When the world instantiates, so we don't need. We're gonna get rid of this for now. We are setting up the list of mines in game now. We are doing the mine action hits the game code. And this is where things get weird. Like I think the server should really only care about what it's sending for the server simulation and relaying inputs, because that's really all it's doing to recreate and then the rest of the code is how I would normally kind of sort of put it for the most part. I think it's okay. I think it's going to be fine. Okay. And so we have this mine status. This is what we're trying to get to. What we're trying to get to is this is the array of booleans that it's right now. It's 8 mines that we could have theoretically. And we're trying to get to a point where when a mine status changes, we change the value in this bool array, and then we just send that over the pipe, and we reconstruct the status on the client side accordingly. So when we mine a mine and it actually goes away and it says, okay, it's been mined, and it's going to go, and then maybe we have a timer and the mine comes back, but in between that, this is where we have to say, okay, set the value of that thing to. So what we'll do is on mines, we can look for the index of the mine. from the array. So what we can do is we say mines, and again, it's so many different, has, and we say mineable. So that should be the object, right? Yes. Okay. How do you go back? If I move somewhere, if I move the cursor somewhere, how do I go right back where I was? I don't remember. Oh, and we were doing the find thing. Let me look that up. Control O. CQ. No. To live grep or find files, CQ to send them. Telescope. Telescope. Find files. Is that an underscore? Is this an underscore? Or a space? No, that's space. Buffer. Control O Alt. Huh? I use Control O. Control O. Okay. Thanks, Nithir. Thanks, Medusa. Control I and Control O. File hopping. Okay. Great. So has should return an index if it exists, right? You know what I would love for there to exist in a programming language, and maybe there is in some programming languages, but what I would love is, wait, I think I can. Can I do this? What I would love is if I'm doing a conditional and the answer is true, that one of the tests of the conditional I can create into a variable without assignment. Can you do that with as or is? Like if I know that the result of this is, can I say as and just give a name here? No. Do you guys know what I mean? You can do that with C#. It's both. I remember doing it in C#, yeah. What is that called? What's the comp sci name for that? I'm sure it has some fancy ass sounding thing that's borrowed from mathematics. Implicit declaration. Godot. Hmm. Godot, assign variable name on comparison. Don't know, bros. Okay. That's lame. I know you can do it on inputs in Godot. You can do an if statement, and then you can say if it equals this, it's possible. So let me try it one more time. If mines has does not equal -1 as test name is okay. Var index equals mines has. Fine. If index does not equal -1. It's a magic number, baby. If index does not equal -1. So this is where we would do some sort of assertion, because, and we could just do it with an assertion. It should always exist. So we should do an assert here, because something's gone terribly wrong if this isn't true. So we'll just do an assertion instead. So we assert that index does not equal -1. Otherwise, we say mineable not found in array. Okay. And we can presume that everything's going to go fine, because we know that we're good programmers and we would never send the wrong thing across the pipe. It'll never be wrong because we're so good. Okay. So then we have an index now. So now we can get the bool value and flip it for mine status. Mine status, which I don't like the name of anymore, but whatever. My status now equals false if we're down to HP. Invalid index type bool for array bool. Bro, what? What? Index type. Int. How's that? There you go. All right. My status is false. We don't need this empty thing. We can get rid of empty on mineable. Goodbye, my friend. Test, what's up? Twitch chat probably was dead for the past 5 minutes. Dude, Cloudflare nuking the internet single-handedly. Thank you for the heads up, Pogorli. I really appreciate that. Saw your Discord message just now. Pogorli's a bro. All right. I mean, let's see if do we even get here? Yes, we know we get here, but let's set a breakpoint. We should get down to here. Let's just find out what happens here in our wonderful code. And really, this should only get hit. I guess we could call it every time, but really it should only get hit from the server. So where should we do that check, right? We could give them names. If we give the function names a certain name, that'll imply array size is 0 and should be 8. Okay. Mine status. We haven't sized mine status. And that is from world. We got rid of all that. So we need to size mine status. And also we're not taking care of, okay, let's go down here. Load world. Yeah. So we need to resize mine status. Mine status, resize. We need better ways of doing a lot of this stuff. I think we're going to see ourselves creating some common resources for some of this stuff as we start to figure it out. I'm going to turn my heater off. It's hot. Still struggling. Wild. Stream's okay though? All right, I'll be right back.
I can't believe you've done this.
Gemma's gonna try and come in and sleep. Gemma's gonna try and come in and sleep. She's kind of setting it up. So, just a heads up. Maybe we're all just waiting for Mr. Streamer to come back. Okay, we're back. So here's another question. How do we get to the definition of something in LazyGet? LazyGet move to meaning. Move to definition. GD, go to definition. There we go. Okay. All right, let's give it a shot. Whoops. You're not the server. Start, connect. And we reach the breakpoints. Very good. And then we run. Everything's going to break right here. Okay. So we got timed out. So, excuse me. My son has this compulsion to put his fingers in our drinks lately. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so then when we send the status, so now we go back to the sim packet. What the hell is this? Icons. How did I find this? What? Okay. So then we have resources here. And essentially, value encode U8. And this is going to be mines.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool?
Yeah, cool.
You think it's cool?
Dude.
Cool.
It's not
Matt
cool.
Bird's Quest, what's up? Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. How's your stream? We do the let me see if I can I catch up on your stuff? Do a shout out here. There we go. See if I can catch up on. Stupid Subaru commercial. It won't let me. Seriously, it's gonna roll an ad just for me to. God bless it. I think I'm gonna have to start paying for Twitch Prime. I think it's time, boys. Anyways. Oh no, don't apologize. And then it's like buffering. Twitch is definitely having problems right now though. Anyways, I hope your stream went well. I don't really get ads. Yeah. Lucky. Maybe that's what I should do. I should just get a VPN going and put it there so that I when I'm looking at streamers and stuff, I don't have to worry about it. We are presently, let me show you guys what's up here. Thank you for coming in. We are just about to get our mines updating across the pipe. Mine status. Let's call it mine state instead of mine status. But before we start getting too deep in the weeds on this one, we want to show what we're working on here. So let's do that instead. Let's do that. So we're doing multiplayer. We've got a server client connection. We're sending inputs to the server and reconstructing the those inputs on the server for a simulation, and then we're sending the update of the sim. Look at that. So on the server side, it shows the correct state of the mined resource. We're not sending that across the pipe just yet, so that's what we're going to be working on. But yeah, so we've so we're replicating, we're simulating the player inputs on the server and then updating the state of the world, the simulation tick over to the all the clients. And so that took about a month of beating our head against the wall and understanding that stuff to get it to be the way we want it. And now we're working on changing the world, getting the world to change on the client side as well as on the server side. So for right now, the very thing that we're working on is class name is mine. So status. So we're going to change this to mine state. We're trying to get the state of the mines to come across. You know, they say that a mine is a terrible thing to waste. So we're trying to not do that. You know what else we should do? We're going to resize the size of the mine. So then for index int in mine state, we're going to go and say mine state true. Okay. Or it is false that it hasn't been mined. Or do we think of it as an on or an off? I think of it as an on or an off. So it is active or it is inactive. So we'll do that. So now we should have mine state in here in game. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Go over to the game. We are showing mind state there. Cannot find member. Oh, because we're not. It's not static. That's a static. We could do that. I don't see a problem for that. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So that should work, right? There we go. So now we can encode this. So then we have an encoder here that we can use now. I am succeeding. I hope you are too. On the bright side, before you got next to no ad revenue from me, now you'll get a full ad revenue. So that's something. So I'm going to have to, I'm going to mute the tab and get some stuff done. No problem, Matt. Yeah, there is some issues on Twitch chat right now. So it's affecting everyone. It sounds like things are busted. All right. So we're going to use, we have a pack. Is it a byte? Packer. Encode to U8. Like so. Look at that. Thank you, Past Matt. You're welcome. I'm Matt as well, in case that wasn't clear. I am also a Matt in this world. This crazy world of ours. I am a Matt. All right. Decode. And we want to decode U8. And we're just going to use the size. Looks good. Huh. I was a bit afraid, like, did I accidentally hammer their server or violate a TOS? I'd totally do a crossover with you if you want to be a Matt. It's a crossover episode. Guys. Saturday morning cartoons of game dev. Hell yeah. I feel like TMNT had probably one of the best intro like music that you could ask for. So we have a decode for this, but we were talking about this earlier where I think we just need to run it through a function where we do some sort of comparison to set things right. If we send the actual integer value of our mask, I believe we can compare it to, we can get I guess we can't get it really easily. Well, we would know, we would be able to tell which to check. If we get it as an array, Are we repeating ourselves? This is the trick right here. So I think we're just going to grab it as the index value. And pass it into a function called set mind states or update mind states. So here's the other problem with this. We have to make sure that this does not fire on the server itself. Well, okay, so it's more than that too. Right. So let's do this. Here's what we'll do. Let's go up to the top, and then we're gonna add var mind states. Mind state int equals. Well, it doesn't equal anything. It's just 0. And then when we get it over from the server, we say mind state here. And now on the game code, we can do this. We can do this here when we update the simulation from everything else. Because we know when we're doing this, if it's us, we handle it one way. And if it's everyone else, we handle it another way. So we're going to need to do void mat. It's a format. Past mat is a slur in my channel, though. From our perspective, we all are present and current mats. And past and future are relative to the point of speaking. Like, if I am future Matt today, I am past Matt tomorrow. So we call ourselves rec Matt and live Matt as fixed points in times. Enter the matrix. Enter the matrix. So if we do not equal that is some wild bit stuff going on here, guys. Um, Blork, what's up? So we should hit this when we mine something. But only on the client side. And we didn't. Are we setting? Let's go over here and let's take mind state, baby. You know, they say a mind state is a false. Is a what? Say it. True, false, 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 false. What? That's why it's 1. That's why it's 1. True, 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 true. So now it should be 255, right? Or 256. If we do something with a mine. That's the number we're probably going to see. 255, yep. All right, so we're getting somewhere. What's not happening is the state being set to false. So let's see here. Start, connect, go over here and whack this off in front of everybody. Hey, there's our breakpoint. We did it, boys. We got it. We got it. We whacked this off in front of everybody, and now we have something we can update. So we have an index. What does that give us? Well, that gives us, we don't know who did it, but we know from a simulation standpoint that we can go and say mine, mines, index, player, we don't know. Can we send a null on this? What if we send nothing? Can we say null? Okay. We'll allow null. So now we should have the other mine clear on the client side as well. Let's see, boys. Let us see here. Oh, it did the wrong one. And that's because the order that we're unpacking in is not the same. I bet if we do the middle, Well, that's not even guaranteed, though. Nope, it's the same one. Okay. So this is something to do with our comparison. All right, but we're getting there. We're approaching finality. Index is the integer. So print mine index. Let's see what we get. We're getting there. Start, connect, go, go, go. Mine uno. That one didn't do anything. So those ones aren't firing at all. I see. También. Let's do this one again. So it's always the one in the back. Mine uno. Mine state. And then that one would be corrected, and on the server side it would be as well. Mineable. See, we're using index here. Let's do this. Print mining %s %index. See what number it thinks we're mining. Maybe we're doing something wrong there. Start and connect and mine. Well, that's weird. Huh. Did I not save my change? That's very likely. I didn't. Oh, cricket. Whoops, wrong screen. Also, I've never seen a manually written breakpoint in Godot. It works out great in a pinch, especially if you're using an external editor. There we go. Mining one. Mining one. All right, so has is not what we're looking for. We are looking for find. Is that the one, the keyword we're looking for? Maybe it's find. Maybe it's find. Yeah, that's our friend. Find is our friend. Let's check it again. I think we got it this time, boys. Start, connect, and let's go mine this one. There we go. Look at that. Everything kind of seems to be right. The thing that we want to do when we're actually mining, though, is this needs to happen. Like, you do the animation, and that's when it happens, right? We're not doing the timing correctly. So everything, now the state's getting sent across, so we're only using bit flags for whether or not the resource has been mined or not. Then we could set timers on the server and have them come back. You guys want to try that? That sounds like something fun to do. And it should just work now that we have this in place. So let's try that out. So what we could do here is if we end up like this, we could just set a timer. Await get tree create timer finished. What is it? Timeout. And we'll do this for 2 seconds. Or let's say 5. Let's say 10 just for good measure. So we time out and then we're going to flag all these back up. Now, obviously I'm not going to do it this way, but we can prove that we can change the state back, and it should change back for Oh, here's the problem though. Here is the problem with this. If we're calling this function here, we are now changing the authority over to the client. We don't want to do that. So for now, we'll only trigger this if we're the server. How about that? We can do that. So we're flipping everything back here. We're only firing this if main multiplayer multipass, main network multiplayer is server. So if where is the server, if where is the server, then we're going to do this timer thing. And then just to be certain about this, we're going to say, print this out. We should only see it once per mined resource. Server wait, respawn, mine resource. I don't know. That's fine. Okay, so now the resource should spawn back or make it look like it's ready to be mined again. Go over here. We want to do this from the server side. And we go mine something, and we can count for 10 seconds. Mine that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it went back on the server side, but it didn't go back on the other side. Break on through to the other side. So why not? Mine state game. Mine state's being flipped to true here. Oh, you know what? We're not updating mine state here. So when we do this flip, we're not changing it to. So basically, we know it doesn't match, but we don't know why it don't match. So let's do this. We're going to take this and say var current mine state equals, it's a bool. And we go like this. And then we say current mine state. And then we assign it. Oh, see, we don't even know if we need to mine it or not. We only want to fire this off if it needs to be mined. So we're just comparing if they don't equal the same. But if it is different, current mine state equals current mine state, and then we say if current mine state equals false, then we mine for the client. Okay. That's great. I usually just make a garbage variable and stick one in the Godot IDE. Yeah. It's good stuff. It's good stuff to be able to do that. Okay, so hopefully this gets us to what we want to do. This is fun. We're making a video game. And we'll counts here. Or we'll just wait a second here. Should see it change. Okay, so there's server side changed here, and we're still not seeing it on the client side. So what is going wrong? I never know. What is going on here? I never know. We do assign the current state here. Correct? Yes. Let's make sure we're hitting this. Breakpoints. Well, we are because we see it change on the client side, right? So we know we're hitting this, but we don't know how often we're hitting it. So let's find that out. So we'll do prints, mine, changed, mine percent s changed, percent s, percent index, comma, current state. Okay, so that should give us some details about what the hell's going on here. What the hell's... Oh, Jesus, we lost all of our controllers. So, guys, let's put some odds. Are my friends going to cancel D&D tonight or not? So we said, oh, crap, D&D's just about to start. Wow, I was burning the midnight. Whoa. Crap. Okay, let's just try this real quick. Just want to see the numbers here. Did I already start the server? Connect the server? No, we didn't. Okay. Start, connect. Okay, go over here. Mine changed 0 to false. Mine changed 2 to false. Mine 0 changed to true. Oh, we don't have an unmined thing. I'm expecting something to happen that I haven't programmed for. Excuse me. I don't have a thing to be like, oh, hey, put everything back. Classic. So we're just going to hard code this for now. Func. What do we call this? Like restore? I guess we just do the same thing. We have an index. We know the index that we can restore as well. All right, after this, I got to bail, but we should have it now. And so we can do the server check, await here, and then we'll say restore index. And okay, and then we don't need this. This is kind of weak. We do have to get mineable. We have to do the inverse of this. We have to find mineable in index mineable. I guess we could do has. But how do we get something to mineable? Bool. Okay, shit. I gotta go here. Var mineable equals mines index Okay. So then we're either mining or we're restoring. So if true, we restore, else we're mining. But only if the state is changing, which is the comparison at the top there, right? So restore index. There's some checks here that we're going to need to make. Well, we need some universal testing stuff because we're going to be making some of the same checks in different spots repeatedly. So we might need some way of doing that more easily in a more like a way that's not the same code over and over again. So if we're true, we restore, else we're false, and this is only if the mine is changed. Okay, let's try it, and then I got to roll regardless. Connect. So we mine something. Mine it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it goes. Okay. Sweet. Googly moogly. All right. Much love to everybody out there. I will see you guys later. Let's go ahead and raid out. I appreciate all of the all of that. Give me a moment. Who we raiding? Well, Zed raided us the other day. We could re-raid. We could return the raider favor. Return the raider favor. Let's do it. We'll do Zed A. Shaw. What a cool handle. It's probably just his name.
Right.
What a cool name. I'm not jealous at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Lay off me. No, it's no big deal. Okay? All right. Much love to everybody out there. We're making the game. Remember how I said we're finally making the game? Remember? It's happening. It's happening. I got the foundation. I'm feeling good about that. Probably going to be doing a refactor at some point with a bunch of stuff, but much love to everybody out there. I will see you Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, be cool, and yeah, bye-bye.